So we're here today conducting a client appreciation day where the goal is for us to just share our story and journey in an authentic way, whatever comes up. And so I'm here with Stephanie, and she wanted to come and talk about how cohesive therapy, Gepina method, Lymphatics has transformed her health and her journey with the drainage work that we do and all the other modalities. And I can talk about this all day, love it, but it's different when it comes from a client because I want you to hear it from there. So Stephanie, just asking, how you found, I know how we found each other kind of at an event. You can mention that, and then kind of what brought you in, but even more important, what has kept you coming in beyond just like a walk in and get one session.
Yeah. So Gepina and I met at a gala for breast cancer, and I was talking about how I had an upcoming surgery, and she said, you have to come in beforehand, and we'll do a consult, I'll get to know you, and we'll start our relationship that way. And I came in and I got the first lymphatic massage, and I walked out of there calling up my friends and texting them of, there is a whole other type of massage that you can be having that actually helps your body feel really better. And I lost like 2 pounds, just water weight immediately, and my body just felt like light and airy as I walked out. And so it was a good experience to have it prior to having a surgery, that I just knew that was how my body was reacting. And then when I had this surgery and I was coming in, Gepina took such good care of me, and she really helped me see, okay, we're gonna do these appointments in this time, this schedule, but I'm also gonna help you with making sure you have a garment to wear that keeps the fluid moving through the body, and we're gonna make sure you have the teas that you need, and it's a more holistic than just coming in for a massage. And that was great, and that really helped me recover faster. Even the doctor said, wow, you're recovering really quickly. There's not so much just buildup in your skin, as he could press on my skin and just see how I wasn't as bloated as he would have expected or inflamed. And then I got through recovery and found that the sessions were still really helping. And then now it's kind of switched, now that it's maybe almost not quite a year since having surgery, that I feel now like it's more, how do I recover from postpartum life and having kids and feel more in my body and less broken.
You said something really powerful about postpartum, which, in my opinion, as a lymph drainage therapist or massage therapist, I say you haven't had postpartum care until you've had it, even if your kids are 10 years old, graduated high school. And that is wonderful to hear that from mom, because it can be years before you do any care for yourself when you have kids. 6, 7, 8 years, try to get in right afterwards. How, with postpartum, kind of what would that mean for you? Is it like how your body's changed and now you feel like you're getting back into your original body?
I feel, I wish that I had seen you when I was immediately postpartum.
I would have thrown you in a binder and stuff to figure it out.
It would have
really.
It would have been, it really would have helped me heal a lot faster. But my baby is now 3, and so probably it was a little over 2 when I first seen you.
Yeah.
And so it's still my body's not all kind of put back together, but I really don't know what ever is. And so I think what I'm trying to find now is, how do I optimize what I have and all the changes that have happened, but also for the good. I birthed 3 babies, and now just want to feel more inside the body that I am now, rather than feeling like there is still suffering in it, but rather just getting to that point where I really feel like I'm in a more wellness vibration, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Because as women, we always compare ourselves to what we looked like before children. And I really feel with this work, with the lymphatic drainage and all the things that we lean into with home care, with the fascia yoga and the lymphatic teas, really a lifestyle. you can actually enjoy a whole new body of transformation that's all completely different. Your home care is going to be different. And I feel like because of our comparison and judgment, we quit everything.
Yeah.
But it's a new kind of exercise. It's a new kind of, and that consistency that comes forward. Also, yeah, I mean, stretch marks, all those things, can we ever really completely get rid of them? Not completely, even if you've gained weight.
Yeah.
I've got stretch marks from a period of time where I gained weight. But to see it more beautiful and soften and tighten naturally, and go from there. Also emotionally, like I do feel, and you can tell me how you feel from how we cope with stress when we get this work specifically, and how it helps us not go over the edge, but stay behind it. There's way more pressure when you have kids. And so we don't like getting in the, like mom gets upset, everyone run. Like, I think this work can help with that.
Yeah.
So with postpartum, that part of it, now you have 2 kids with 2 different age ranges. How would you say this is going a little different? Because with your first kid, you had not had lymph drainage or the Gepina method, self-care, philosophy, things happen.
Yeah, I think that, having children in periods of time, I just felt like I went through a whole, 8 years of just not really paying attention to my own wellness. And then now that my third is, now that she's 3, I feel like I finally have a little bit more space. I'm not breastfeeding anymore, and I'm not held as much to being at certain times and certain places for my children, other than like the normal pickups and drop-offs and just more logistical things than such physical stress on the body for children. And so that's been helpful. And then to the point of stress, working 50 plus hours a week, and then on top of that, the children, and sometimes it's like a second job, like just from a management perspective and the mental load of it all. And so I found that being able to just sneak away for an hour and be able to come in and then have a moment of like, okay, how is my body feeling right now? Oh, I'm actually like really tight in this way. And then you help loosen it up, and brings just more awareness into myself, that then when I leave, I can say, okay, I have a little bit of like mental space, as well as like my body also builds the space to be able to heal whatever is kind of like out of alignment.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the goal, is you come in and it's just like a red carpet ride. It's just literally, I feel, when that's what like this cameo is. It's when we become moms and we have so much, we miss that cameo moment, which we have so much, and that's what we want you to feel like when you come in, is it's like all about you. And it's not a selfish thing. It's a recharging, filling up the cup that's below empty. You can just keep a little bit up so you don't get in the desert zone. I once had someone who said to me, I can give from empty, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we need to avoid. And to that point, like we met at a Pink Lemonade event for breast cancer, and we know that, breast cancer is more prominent among women, although it is, men get it as well. And we do take care of men as well. It's just more women tend to seek and sought after self-care. Where in your family have you ever seen, or friends, touched by stress causing chronic stress to where you become, it's gone too far? And actually stress is good for us. It keeps us alive and going, but it's the highway without the brake that ends into crash. It's really important to have just a little tap on a brake, or a little bit, so that.
Yeah, I know that both of my parents it's very difficult for them to walk any kind of distance. They can't run, and they're still pretty young. And so I know for myself, I thought, I got to do more wellness-oriented things to prevent having situations where, as healthy as I'm trying to be, if I also don't take care of myself or listen to my body, then I could very well end up in the same place. You run on an injury, and then, that really, can cause problems. And then you're in surgery, and then you're trying to recover, and, et cetera. And it can just become really a bad cycle to get into. So I see a lot of the wellness work being preventative of a life that won't be worth as much living.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yes. That's kind of the other emphasis is, yes, in our 40s going into our 50s, it's some of the most important time that sets us up for aging.
Yeah. As
women, and our memory, and all these things that actually tie into lymph drainage, because our brain actually has its own lymphatic system. It's called the lymphatic system. So it's really important to drain this face and whole body regularly to actually prevent mental illness, which is something we need to come in for. It's really hard to drain our own body. So when people feel mental clarity after a session, that's prevention of dementia. That's prevention of Alzheimer's, which is all connected to walking, being able to be cognitive, word recall. We take not for granted, but we're very healthy. And then suddenly all these things happen, but it's accumulation of stress that just kind of compounds. So I commend you for taking care of yourself, because I know you do all the things you need to do. And this can be the missing part of just like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
And receiving touch, healing, connection, all the things. I mean, it's proven that when women get together, we're in crowds less because it's family work. There's a hormonal exchange that happens that is vital to balancing estrogen and all these other things. So outside of the lymph drainage and all that, just the touch and all of that is great. So I think your story is going to help a lot of people in understanding like how this was beneficial for you and in your life as a busy mom.
Yes, yeah. It's been wonderful to share so much with my friends and my family about the benefits I've received, and it feels like the hidden gem of what isn't as much talked about in the mainstream wellness world. It's a lot more quick hits of various products you can buy, but this has been the most valuable and the fastest to improvement in my body that I've ever seen. So I'm really glad we sat next to each other.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for talking today. And yeah, thank you.